University Challenge. Asking the questions, Amol Rajan.
Hello and welcome to University Challenge. A place in the semi-finals is the reward on offer to the winners of this evening's match. Both teams are playing their second quarter-final, having won one already, so a second win tonight will be enough to see them through. Lose, and they'll need to play a third quarter-final to keep their title hopes alive. The team from Darwin College, Cambridge, came into this round of the competition having managed two comfortable wins against Birkbeck University and Edinburgh University. But in their first quarter-final against UCL, they went up a gear and then some. In that match, they were exceptionally quick on the buzzer, particularly on questions about the Etruscans and Ngugi wa Thiong'o. And UCL could only sit and watch as Darwin then sailed through bonus sets on Turkic languages, the philosopher Louis Althusser and the Venice Film Festival. With an average score so far of 195, let's meet the team from Darwin once again.
Hi, I'm Rebecca McClelland. I'm from Essex and I'm doing a PhD in optical microscopy.
Hi, I'm Sophie Willis. I'm from Derby and I'm studying for a PhD in pathology.
And their captain.
Hi, my name is Harrison Whitaker. I'm from Terre Haute, Indiana in the United States, and I'm studying for a PhD in film.
Hi, I'm Rowan Stewart. I'm from Edinburgh and I'm studying for a Masters in Linguistics.
The team from Bristol cruised through their first two matches against Gonville and Caius College, Cambridge and the University of Exeter, but then came up against the Open University, who proved much more difficult to beat. That quarter-final was tense and low-scoring, with very little to choose between the two teams until the last few minutes when Bristol pulled ahead. They had some very bad luck with their bonuses in that match, but still answered well on life science and Polish history, and their average score per game is 250. Let's meet the team from Bristol for the fourth time.
Hi, I'm Ted Warner, I'm from Wiltshire and I'm studying biology.
Hi, I'm Bridie Rogers, I'm from Brighton and I study medicine.
And their captain.
Hi, I'm Kevin Flanagan, I'm from Dublin and I'm doing a PhD in AI.
Hi, I'm Olivia Watts, I'm from York and I'm doing a PhD in organic chemistry.
Nice to see you again, guys, and nice to see you applaud each other as well, which is the spirit in which we expect to conduct this game. Good luck, fingers on buzzers. Here's your first starter for 10. In 2015, Dutch fashion designer Iris van Herpen's skeleton dress became the first dress made using which technique to be acquired by the Metropolitan Museum's Costume Institute?
Darwin Whitaker.
3D printing?
It is indeed, yes. Your bonuses, Darwin, are on Norse myths, as chronicled in the first part of the Prose Edda, in which a king called Gylfi visits Asgard and meets three mysterious apparitions whom he questions about the affairs of the gods. When Gylfi asks how the world was made, the apparitions reply that it was fashioned from the flesh of which frost giant, with the wall of Midgard, the realm of humans, being made from his eyelashes.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
It's like above Odin.
Where the ice giants are from.
Yeah.
But it's not a person.
Not them. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to guess, like Odin or something. But
Odin.
No, it's Ymir. When Gylfi asks about the different places humans go when they die, the apparitions say that the best and most beautiful is a palace known by what name? A character in Tolkien's Lord of the Rings has a similar name, with both likely deriving from an Old Norse word meaning fire.
Oh.
Fire.
So it's not Valhalla. It's not Valhalla. It's not Asgard. Like Aragorn or something.
Yeah, or like fire could be like Sauron or something like that. I don't know. But...
Sauron.
No, this could take some time. No, it's Gimli. When Gylfi asks, what is the path from earth to heaven? The apparitions laugh and call him foolish, saying, have you not been told that the gods made a bridge from earth to heaven, which is called...
Bifrost.
That is Bifrost. Well done. Now start the question. I need a single word answer here. In her 2023 work, Red Memory, about the Chinese Cultural Revolution, what does the journalist Tanya Brannigan describe as a term often used for serious, even tragic events in China that distanced, blurred and evaded, telling you not what, not how, not who, not why? The word in question may follow June the 4th, Mukden and...
Bristol Warner.
Incident.
It is indeed incident. Well done. Your bonuses, Bristol, are on winners of the Queer Palm, the award given at the Cannes Film Festival for the best film that focuses on LGBTQ themes. The winner of the 2022 award, Joyland, concerns a man who falls in love with a transgender dancer. It was the first film from which Asian country to be entered into the official selection at the festival?
I think it's maybe
like Thailand?
Or Taiwan, maybe.
Yeah.
A bit type.
I'm tempted by Thailand, but I'm not sure.
So you don't think Taiwan?
Maybe
Thailand then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thailand?
No, it's Pakistan. The winner of the 2023 Queer Palm, Monster, is the work of which Japanese director? He previously won the Palme d'Or in 2018 for his film Shoplifters.
Do we know any contemporary Japanese directors? So we don't. Just move on.
Sorry, I don't know.
Yeah. Pass.
It's Hirokazu Koreeda. Which film directed by Matthew Warchus tells the true story of an alliance between miners and lesbian and gay activists during the 1984 miners' strike? It won the Queer
Pride.
Palm in 20... It is indeed Pride, yes, well done. Let's start the question. In the 2024 Classic FM Hall of Fame, the composers Nobuo Uematsu and Yoko Shimomura are both listed for their scores for which long-running series of video games? Shimomura specifically for her work on the 15th...
Bristol Warner.
Final Fantasy?
It is indeed, yes. Your bonus is, Bristol, 3 questions on a group of proteins. For what class of protein did Daniel Koshland propose the induced fit hypothesis? This replaced...
Enzymes?
Yes. In enzymology, the Km is the substrate concentration where half the maximum rate of reaction is reached. The letters Km stand for which constant?
Michaelis, is it Michaelis-Menten?
Maybe.
KM stands for would it be...
If you think that's a thing.
Is that what it is though?
Yeah, that'd be it.
Okay, I'll nominate. Nominate what?
Michaelis-Menten.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
What type of inhibitor binds to a region other than the active site
Allosteric.
and reduces the efficiency of an
Nominate
enzyme?
what?
Allosteric.
I'm so sorry, I can't accept that. The term we're looking for is non-competitive.
Yeah.
Bad luck. Fingers or buzzers, it's a picture round now. And for your picture starter, you're going to see a city marked on a map alongside a picture of a musical artist. For 10 points, I want you to give both the name of the artist and the full title of her 1968 single, which features this city in its title.
Darwin Whittaker.
Gladys Knight, San Francisco.
No. Anyone from Bristol? You may not confer.
Bristol what?
Dionne Warwick, San Jose.
I'm so sorry, I can't accept that, Olivia. I did ask for the full title of the song, and it is, of course, Dionne Warwick's Do You Know the Way to San Jose. Bad luck, I'm afraid I can't accept that. We'll take your picture bonuses in a moment when we get to start the question right. Which Swiss-American Nobel laureate gives his name to all of the following? Domain walls in a bulk magnetic material, a spherical construction representing the quantum state of a qubit, and a theorem stating that the product of plane waves and periodic functions can solve the...
Darwin McClelland.
Block.
It is indeed Felix Bloch, yes. OK, following on from your picture starter, which showed San Jose and Dionne Warwick, your picture bonuses will be maps showing 3 more US settlements alongside a photograph of a band or singer. Again, in each case, you need to give both the name of the musical artist and the title of the single by them that includes the name of the settlement shown. First, this band and a 1976 single.
So that's Kiss and Detroit. I don't know what... Anybody know any Kiss songs about Detroit?
No.
Should I just say Detroit then and hope it's just called Detroit?
I think it will almost certainly be
Detroit.
Like, I don't know, Road to Detroit, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Kiss and Detroit.
Bad luck. The single is called Detroit Rock City by Kiss.
Yeah.
Secondly, this artist and a 1968 single.
I'm the Wichita Lineman.
Oh, okay,
And
yeah.
who does that?
It's not Glenn Campbell, is it?
It is Glenn Campbell, yeah. Glenn Campbell, Wichita Lineman.
Correct. And finally, the singer and title of a 1973 track here.
Oh, that's Tina Turner,
I think
right? So
Yeah.
then what is it, like Chattanooga or something? I don't really know.
unless it's like...
Yeah, Chattanooga Choo Choo.
I don't know.
This feels so wrong. Yeah, I don't know. Tina Turner and Chattanooga Choo Choo.
That was adventurous. No, it's Nutbush City Limits by Tina Turner. Bad luck.
Okay.
Another starter question, 5 points in it. You may give your answer here in English or German. Appearing in 2 operas first performed together in 1876, the characters Voglinde, Velgunde and Flosshilde are commonly known collectively by what name? They are the guardians of a hoard of treasure.
Darwin Whittaker.
Valkyries.
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. A hoard of treasure that is stolen from them by the dwarf lord Alberic. No, I'll tell you. It's the Rhine Maidens. Let's start the question. What term denotes the class of diplomatic advisors, players of the kora, and oral historians typically associated with Mande ethnic groups in Mali, Senegal, and other regions of northern West Africa? This term is also used...
Darwin Whittaker.
Griots.
It is indeed the griots. Yes, well done. Your bonuses then, Darwin. 3 questions on an American feminist. First published in 1983, Outrageous Acts and Everyday Rebellions is a collection of essays by which US journalist and second-wave feminist?
Gloria Steinem was a journalist. No,
Okay.
Yeah. Gloria Steinem?
Correct. The collection includes Steinem's groundbreaking account of working undercover at what company? She later said of its founder, if I, as a feminist, wrote a novel making him up, they would call me anti-male. They would say, this can't possibly be a guy as ridiculous as this.
Playboy.
Yes. Quote refers, of course, to Hugh Hefner. In 1971, Steinem co-founded which feminist magazine after she...
Ms. Magazine.
Correct. Well done. Let's start the question now. A prominent example of metafiction, which 1966 novel revolves around the discovery by Oedipa Maas of a secretive...
Darwin Whittaker.
Crying of Lot 49.
It is indeed. Well done. Your bonuses are 3 questions on medieval philosophy. Born in Cordoba in the 1130s, which Jewish philosopher's works include The Guide for the Perplexed?
Maimonides.
Yes. Also born in Cordoba, which contemporary of Maimonides defended the philosophical study of religion in The Incoherence of the Incoherents? He is especially noted for his commentaries on Aristotle.
Ibn Rushd.
Yes. Ibn Rushd and Maimonides both drew on the ideas of which prominent Islamic thinker born near Bukhara in Central Asia in the later 10th century. His works include The Canon of Medicine.
Ibn Sina, I think.
Okay.
Ibn Sina.
Well done. It is indeed. Let's start the question. Used to define the distance between chromosomal positions based on the frequency of chromosomal crossover events, what unit in genetics...
Bristol Warner.
Centimorgan.
It is indeed the centimorgan. 3 questions for you, Bristol, on the artist Barbara Walker, who was shortlisted for the Turner Prize in 2023. What is the 3-word title of a series of works by Walker depicting Caribbean and African personnel in the British Armed Forces? This term denotes a military strategy that came to prominence during the Iraq War, characterised by the use of overwhelming force in the early stages of a campaign in order to establish dominance.
Like, catastrophic or
I don't have a realistic guess for this, I don't think.
I'm not sure.
yeah, pass.
It's shock and awe. What name did Walker give to her collection exploring the visibility of black subjects in Western European paintings? This 2-word term denotes the spot at which receding parallel lines viewed in perspective appear to converge.
Vanishing point? Yeah. Okay, vanishing point?
Yes. Nice one. What short word completes the title of a series of portraits by Walker that draws attention to the Windrush scandal? Burden of what?
Burden of anything to do with Windrush. Shame.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Shame?
It's proof. Burden of proof. Okay. Let's start the question now. Fingers on buzzers. I need an abstract noun here. In Paradise Lost, what does Milton describe as the tyrant's plea with which Satan excused his devilish deeds? Gabriel Garcia Marquez said that it has the face of a dog. William Pitt the Younger called it the argument of tyrants and the creed of slaves, and several writers contrast it with luxury. Proverbially, it knows no law and is the mother of invention.
Darwin Whittaker.
Necessity.
Yes, exactly. Necessity indeed. 3 questions for you, Darwin, on nuclear fusion. To fuse 2 small nuclei, such as deuterium and tritium, the nuclei must have sufficient energy to overcome a repulsive barrier named for which French physicist? He also names the force of electrostatic attraction and the SI unit of charge.
Coulomb.
Coulomb.
Yes. Which British physicist developed a namesake criterion that determines the threshold for a nuclear fusion reaction to become self-sustaining? His criterion was surpassed for the first time in 2021.
I think Lawson. Yeah, Lawson.
Okay. Lawson?
Yes. In magnetic confinement fusion, the plasmas involved are trapped by a magnetic field inside stellarators and what other type of device shaped like a torus? Its name comes from a Russian acronym.
I think tokamak.
That works.
They are toroidal,
yeah.
so.
Tokamaks.
Yes, correct. That's absolutely correct.
God.
Well done. Music round now. For your music starter, you're going to hear a piece of 20th century classical music. For 10 points, identify its French composer.
Darwin Whittaker.
Messiaen?
No, you can hear a bit more, Bristol, but you may not confer.
Bristol Warner.
Debussy.
No, it's Francis Poulenc. We'll take your music bonuses when we get a starter right. With some of the world's largest deposits of natural marine salts, Garabogaz Curl is a shallow and extremely saline lagoon inlet of what larger body of...
Bristol Warner.
Caspian Sea.
It is the Caspian Sea. Well done. So for your music starter, that was the first movement of Poulenc's Concerto for Two Pianos in D minor. In 1920, Poulenc and 5 other French composers were given the name Les Six by music critic Henri Collet. And for your music bonuses, you're going to hear 3 more pieces by composers who are members of this group. 5 points for each composer you can name. First...
So maybe like Mio or Typha, or just...
Maybe Mia then.
I don't know.
Mia?
Yes, correct. Secondly...
Typhoon.
Yeah, honestly, why not? Just go with it. I think we just go with it.
Yeah, Typhoon.
Yeah, finally...
Onager, I guess. Onager?
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. Okay. Let's start the question now. Give either one of the 2 anatomical terms, distinguished only by the addition of a final letter R, that denote the following. First, the groove at the lower end of the humerus, and second, the 4th cranial nerve, the only one to exit...
Bristol Rogers.
Trochlea.
It is indeed. Well done, yeah. Your bonuses are on ways of preparing vegetables for cooking. Give the name of the knife cut described in each case. Every answer is a single French word. First, this technique results in short, thin strips resembling matchsticks and is sometimes called a matchstick or allumette cut. According to Escoffier, the strips should ideally be 2.5 inches long, 1/8 of an inch high and 1/8 of an inch wide.
Do we have any reasonable
I
guesses?
think it's Julienne.
Yeah. Okay, nominate Rogers.
Julienne.
Yes.
Nice job.
Secondly, this technique involves taking julienne strips and cutting across them to produce very small cubes. It is the smallest cut that is still considered a dice rather than a mince.
If we don't have any words that we can...
And is there like a kute?
Why not? I don't know.
Kute.
No. It's a brunoise. Finally, a technique for cutting leafy greens or flat-leaved herbs that involves stacking the leaves, rolling them tightly, and cutting across the roll to produce thin ribbons. Its name derives from a French word meaning rags or pieces of cloth.
What's that? You know where those machines you used to like cut up the carrots really small? What is that? It might be that thing.
I don't know.
I think that was like a trend like 5 years ago. I can't remember what it's called.
No, I don't
we got
think that's it. No.
Let's go for it if you don't have anything else. Mandolin.
No, it's a chiffonade. 10 points in it. In a 1953 paper, the electronic engineer and cognitive scientist Colin Cherry proposed what term to describe the phenomena of selective attention, wherein someone can attend to a single auditory stimulus whilst tuning out surrounding...
Darwin McClelland.
Cognitive dissonance.
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. Tuning out surrounding noises. It is so named in reference to the difficulties associated with understanding speech in a particular multiple talker social situation.
Bristol Warner.
Cocktail party problem?
It is indeed the cocktail party problem. Well done. Your bonuses then, Bristol, are 3 questions on women and the Mexican Revolution. What is the name of the humanitarian aid organisation founded by Elena Arizmendi Mejia in 1911 after the Mexican Red Cross refused to provide healthcare to revolutionaries?
I don't think I know this. I've not heard this at all.
Any reasonable guesses? No. Pass.
It's the White Cross. The activist Dolores Jimenez y Muro wrote a prologue for a 1911 document in which Emiliano Zapata denounced President Maduro. It is known as the Plan of which town in Morelos State?
I think it's is it Ayala, I think?
Ayala, okay.
I think it's Ayala.
Ayala?
Yes, correct. Aurora Reyes Flores was the first woman commissioned to contribute to which political art movement? Funded by the Mexican government in the wake of the revolution, it aimed to educate people about history via public art.
I'm not so familiar with it, I'm afraid.
Community something.
I've got literally...
I'm not sure.
No. We should move on.
Community.
No, it's Mexican muralism. Let's start the question now. Which monarch's reign saw parliaments with the bynames Wonderful and Merciless? The impeachment of the Earl of Suffolk followed the first of these. The second resulted in the execution of royal favourites such as Sir Robert Tresilian and was thus a second victory for the powerful nobles known as the Lords Appellant.
Darwin Whittaker.
Richard II.
Well done, it is indeed, yeah. 1386 and 1388. Your bonuses then, Darwin, are 3 questions on a chemical element. A popularly cited origin for the phrase mad as a hatter derives from milliners' long-term exposure to what neurotoxic chemical...
Mercury.
Yes, correct. Dancing cat fever is a nickname for a neurological disease caused by industrial mercury exposure and named for what Japanese city in Kyushu, where methyl mercury was released into the nearby bay?
So it's on the water, right?
On the water, like Fukushima or
But, like,
one in the south. I don't
Do you know any Japanese bays?
Ones on the water could be like Nagasaki.
Yeah,
maybe.
Nagasaki.
No, it's Minamata disease. Poisoning by mercury and other heavy metals can be treated by what medical therapy named after the Greek for the word claw? It uses multi-dentate ligands such as EDTA to bind metal atoms and remove them from the body.
I think it's like chelation, I think.
I'm going to nominate you. Nominate Willis.
Chelation?
Correct. Absolutely spot on, yes. Picture round now. And for your picture starter, you'll see a painting. For 10 points, name the artist.
Bristol Flanagan.
Rousseau.
It is indeed Rousseau. For your picture starter then, you saw Henri Rousseau's Carnival Evening, and for your picture bonuses, Bristol, you'll see 3 more paintings of carnival scenes. Again, I just need you to name the artist in each case. First, who painted this?
It almost kind of looks like Ensor, but I don't know.
I don't recognise it.
Yeah, I might just go with Ensor. It's got masks and things. Ensor?
No, it's Goya, The Burial of the Sardine. Secondly,
Oh, actually, this
Is this,
might be it. Well, what do you think?
Yeah, maybe try that.
Ensor. Yeah. Yeah, Ensor?
yes, The Intrigue. And finally,
Oh, is this Miro?
Yeah, it looks like mirrors, I think. Okay.
Yeah, okay, Miro.
it is Miro with Harlequins. Carnival, 10 points in it. This is a quote. Simplifying to the extreme, I define postmodern as incredulity toward meta-narratives. Which French philosopher made this statement in The Postmodern Condition?
Darwin Whittaker.
Leotard.
It is Leotard, indeed. Your bonuses from Darwin are 3 questions on a historic magazine. This is a quote. We only want humour if it has fought like tragedy, and the artist of the modern movement is a savage. These statements appear in the Vorticist Manifesto, printed in 1914, in the first edition of which literary magazine?
It's Blast. Blast.
Yes, the first edition of Blast featured the short story Indissoluble Matrimony by which author and journalist? She later wrote about travels in Yugoslavia in Black Lamb and Grey Falcon.
No idea.
I mean, pick a journalist from there.
Smith.
No, it's Rebecca West. Which novel by Ford Madox Ford about the destructive affairs of Edward Ashburnham was first serialised in Blast? Its title in Blast, The Saddest Story, would become this novel's first line.
The Good Soldier.
Well done, it is indeed. Now start the question. Which carboxylic acid is the main component after water of all culinary vinegars? Produced through a...
Bristol what?
Acetic acid.
It is acetic acid, yes. Your bonuses are on terms used in semantics. In each case, give the term used to describe the participant nouns in the following sentences. First, the participant in a transitive clause that performs the action. For example, the girl in the clause, the girl broke the glass. This concept is distinct from subject, which is a grammatical category.
It's not object, though, is it?
It's not.
No. I
No,
haven't got anything. I think we should pass.
Object.
No, it's agent. Secondly, the participant in a transitive clause that undergoes an action in a transitive clause, typically resulting in a change of state. For example, the glass in the clause, the girl broke the glass. This concept is distinct from the grammatical category of object.
What do you think the opposite of agent is? I don't know.
Suspect. I don't
I'm not going to pull it.
Suspect.
No, it's patient. Finally, the participant in a clause which is used to carry out an action. For example, a hammer in the clause, the girl broke the glass with a hammer.
Is that the object?
I actually have no idea.
They already said object.
They said object, so it won't be object.
Yeah, just pass.
I don't.
Yeah.
Pass.
It's instrument. 3.5 minutes to go, scores level. The first chapter of which novel by Thomas Hardy has the title A Face on Which Time Makes But Little Impression? Other chapter titles include Queen of Night and The Journey Across the Heath. And the novel's characters include...
Bristol Warner.
Tessa D'Urberville's?
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. The novel's characters include Eustacia Vi and Clym Yeobright.
Darwin Whittaker.
The Return of the Native.
It is indeed, yes. Your bonuses then are on European place names that begin with the English name of a culinary herb. For example, the German town of Dillenburg. In each case, name the place from the description. First, a coastal city of Catalonia to the south of Barcelona. It was the first Roman stronghold in Spain and is the site of a noted amphitheatre.
Does ring any bells to you at all?
No, the only town I can think of is Calais, and that's not a herb.
Yeah.
Something
what about it?
basil?
Okay, yeah, but
Basilica.
Basilia?
No, it's Tarragona. Secondly, a region of southern Italy between Apulia and Calabria. Its capital is Potenza.
Basilicata.
Okay, nominate Stuart.
Basilicata.
Yes. Finally, a French city close to the Bay of Biscay. Its name is the probable origin of an infantry weapon that contributed to the obsolescence of the pike.
What would that be? Like the bayonet or the rapier?
Bayonet bay is a herb.
Oh, okay, yeah. The bayonet?
No, can't take
Bayonne.
that, I'm afraid. It's Bayonne. Bad luck. Right, another starter question. Which 18th century opera includes a duet sung by Zerlina and the title character known as La Ci darem la mano, or You'll Lay Your Hand in Mine?
Darwin Whittaker.
Fidelio.
No.
Bristol Flanagan.
If you buzz, you must answer immediately. So I can tell you it's Don Giovanni. Another starter question. I need to hear only a name here. Who comes fifth in this sequence? Louis in 2023, Guers in 2020, Strickland in 2018.
Bristol Flanagan.
Curie.
Yes, indeed, it is Marie Curie. They are women who've won the Nobel Prize in Physics in reverse chronological order. Your bonuses then are 3 questions on historical fashion. Taking their name from a French word for baskets, which 18th century garment was worn under dresses to create the image of wide, square hips?
Corset? Is it corset? It's not corset, no.
Oh, maybe.
It's not a corset.
Corset.
There's panniers. What is the name of the rod of wood, metal or other material worn in the front of stays in 16th and 17th century fashion? It was sometimes carved with messages, Bible verses or lovers' initials.
Pass.
No, it's bus. What name refers to the cage-like structure used in the late 19th century fashion?
Corset.
No, it's bustle. Another starter question. A Japanese expression meaning treasure every meeting, which will never occur, is associated with which stylized tradition known as...
Bristol what?
Tea ceremony.
It is indeed. Your bonuses then are 3 questions on a contemporary poet. In 2019, who succeeded Simon Armitage as Oxford Professor of Poetry? Her collections include The Thing in the Gapstone Style and A Sleepwalk on the Severn.
Do you know?
No.
Caroline Duffy.
It's Alice Oswald. In a 2002 book-length work, Oswald pays tribute to which river that flows past Buckfast Abbey and through Totnes? It gives its name to a prominent granite plateau.
Aberdeen, maybe?
I don't know.
Aberdeen.
Bristol University have 150 and Darwin College, Cambridge have 150. Guys, I think you know how this works. I'm going to take the next starter and we're going to treat it like a starter question. In other words, if you interrupt incorrectly, your team will lose 5 points and you will lose the match. The other team do not need to get the answer correct. For a place in the semi-finals then, good luck. Here's your tie-break starter for 10. Which of the 6 major odes by John Keats ends with the line, "Gathering swallows twitter in the skies"?
Darwin Whittaker.
Ode to Autumn.
It is Ode to Autumn. Well done. You've done it. Give yourselves a round of applause. What an absolutely fantastic match. Dear, dear, dear. I think I'm gonna have a heart attack if you guys keep doing this to me. Ah, Bristol. When you watch this back on TV, there are going to be starters and bonuses that you knew.
I could have got Richard second if I went fast.
Oh, God. Well, these are the incredibly tight margins by which things are decided. But, hey, it's not goodbye. We get to see you again. That's the first time I think you've lost a game, but you've lost to a brilliant team. Darwin, what a fantastic win, and against such a strong team as well. So, well done. You're through to the semi-finals. You can almost relax for now. Well played. I hope you could join us next time for another quarter-final match. But until then, it is goodbye for now from Bristol.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Darwin College, Cambridge.
Goodbye.
And it's definitely goodbye from me. Goodbye.